Great to see everyone. Happy Wednesday. Oh, wait, get us going. Okay, we are at 1 p.m., so I will get us going, and it is such a pleasure to see you. This is our March YVSC community meeting, and I'm Michelle Stewart, the Executive Director of Yampa Valley Sustainability Council, and I want to thank all of you for joining today, and it's really a pleasure to see you. Many of you know, but YVSC was established as a nonprofit in 2009, and we are guided by the mission to serve as a leader, resource, and catalyst for building a sustainable and resilient Yampa Valley region. These monthly community meetings are designed to convene community partners and members so that we can connect, identify common goals and challenges, and importantly, find ways to collaborate to create more impactful and farther-reaching programs and practices in our community. This month's meeting is our quarterly partner update meeting, where we at YVSC and our community partners provide one another and community members with updates on our programs, successes, and ways to get involved in the coming months. In terms of the structure for today's meeting, following YVSC's updates, I'll turn the floor over to community partners for 2 to 3 minute updates, and I'll introduce each of you in turn. All partners, please do use the chat as a resource to share materials, surveys, or contact information if you'd like. And we will share that out with registered attendees if there's a lot of good content in there. We have also received requests for the recording of this so people can be apprised of what's happening, so we'll share that out as well. If you're not speaking, please do remember to keep your microphones on mute, and we should have time at the end for public comment for those who would like to make comments then. So it's my pleasure to kick off our YVSC updates. 2024 is our 15-year anniversary of YVSC, and so YVSC board and staff are currently engaging in a visioning process to discuss and clarify how YVSC needs to continue to evolve and potentially grow to ensure that we continue to serve our region as the leader, resource, and catalyst we need to collaboratively build a resilient and sustainable Yampa Valley region. As part of this process, we are reviewing key resources like the State of Colorado's updated Greenhouse Gas Emission Reduction Roadmap 2.0 and the Nature Conservancy's Climate Resilient Land Mapping Tool, while critically evaluating what kinds of regional barriers inhibit our ability to reduce emissions and increase resilience. Something that is striking to us already in our process is the extent to which our partnerships with so many of you continue to be marked as high priority in our next phase of impact. Reducing emissions and increasing resilience to current and projected changes requires system-level changes that can only be achieved through coalitions and collaborative initiatives. So we are excited and energized to chart YVSC's path ahead in relation to our strategic partnerships. With that, I want to acknowledge and thank all of you partners in the meeting today and those that couldn't join for all you do. And we at YVSC look forward to finding opportunities to continue building collaborative initiatives with you. We are always interested in new ways to expand community and connection, so if you and your organization have ideas, please reach out and let's connect. Many of you might have seen that YVSC is strategically looking to grow our development capacity, and we're currently reviewing applications for a Director of Development position. This anticipated growth in our development capacity is enabled by the nonprofit infrastructure grant YVSC received, which is a grant administered by the Colorado Department of Local Affairs in partnership with the Yampa Valley Community Foundation. Through a competitive process, nonprofits across the state have been selected to receive this one-time grant funding to help build capacity in nonprofits that serve historically marginalized communities in Colorado and which were affected by COVID-19. YVSC is grateful to be one of 56 nonprofits awarded in Eagle, Garfield, Moffett, Rio Blanco, and Routt counties, and a warm thank you to the Yampa Valley Community Foundation for serving as our regional hub for these grants. This is just a quick update, but we will also soon be posting a seasonal part-time natural climate solutions technician position, which is a great opportunity for young professionals to get entry-level experience in training in climate-focused restoration and conservation work. This position will help steward and monitor our Yampa River Forest Restoration Program and wet meadow restoration sites, and occasionally serve as a mentor to youth by engaging Rocky Mountain Youth Corps service learning crew members and Yampatika camp participants in educational stewardship activities. If you have questions, please reach out to Ryan Messenger, and the position we anticipate being 25 to 30 hours from about June through the end of September. And so at this time, it is my pleasure to turn the floor over to YVSC staff for programmatic updates. starting first with Tim Sullivan, Resilient Land and Water Director.
Thank you, Michelle, and good afternoon, everyone.
Oh, Tim, you're muted.
I muted and unmuted and then muted and then unmuted. So, hi, everyone. Three quick updates for me on our resilient land work. First, I want to report on the launch of the public launch of a pretty big new forest restoration collaborative called the Headwaters of the Colorado Initiative. I'm serving on the steering committee for this group, along with Commissioner Redmond, Carolina Manricas, and John Twitchell from the State Forest Service, and a number of other entities, both local and even national. The focus on this initiative is really on the condition of our forests as they relate to water and water resiliency in the future, and hence the name, the Headwaters of the Colorado, how important the Yampa River Basin is to supply in the Colorado River, and how important our forests are to the function of those watersheds. We had a pretty large stakeholder kickoff for this initiative in February at the airport in Hayden. About 75 stakeholders attended. And we talked about initial plans for the group. The initiative covers most of North Route County and into Moffett County, including the Elk River watershed, Elkhead watershed, and the Little Snake Basin. So therefore, it also extends into Wyoming. The key first step for this group will be watershed restoration planning and prioritization in concert with the Forest Service. And we hope we have grants out to begin that process, and hope to do that over the next year. If anyone's interested in learning more about this or becoming involved, reach out to me, and I'll be happy to talk to you or connect you to the coordinator for the group. My second update is, unfortunately, Christy Windsor wasn't able to join us from Routt County, but I've been working with the Routt County Planning Department on a major update to their zoning and subdivision regulations and land use codes. The intent of this is to make these really critical development and regulations in accord with the 2022 master plan, the Routt County Climate Action Plan, the Integrated Water Management Plan, the Community Wildfire Protection Plan, all really critical documents that have been produced in just the last few years. And I give the county great credit for really stepping up and doing it. There'll be a number of important environmental regulations in there, including things like water body setbacks, protections for wildlife habitat, new approaches to oil and gas permitting, wildfire mitigation requirements, as well as many other things. Christy just informed me they hope to have a draft out for public review on April 4th, and they've scheduled public hearings on April 18th and 25th. And with adoption by the county commissioners aimed for in May. So this is really, really critical to guiding the future growth of the county, which is a big topic, and I think we all care about what it does. So pay attention and get involved in that process as it comes out. And I'll just close with a really quick preview of the fact that we're going to have yet again another really busy summer and fall season for land and water related volunteer projects. We hope to kick off in June with another tree planting on the Muddy Slide burn scar up near Stagecoach. We have a new partnership with the U.S. Forest Service to really accelerate the pace of forest regeneration surveys to enable additional replanting by the forest that Cody Dolan is heading. We also have a major expansion of our wet meadow restoration work, again in partnership with the U.S. Forest Service in California Park that Ryan is leading, and we'll have lots of volunteer opportunities. And of course, our continued work on the Yampa River Forest Restoration Program with the City of Steamboat Springs with additional plantings later in the fall. So keep an eye out for all those great opportunities, and get your friends and neighbors involved in helping restore Routt County and protect our climate and our environment. Thanks, everyone.
Great. Thank you so much, Tim. Next, we have Paul Boney, Energy and Transportation Director.
Thank you, Michelle, and good afternoon, everyone. So in energy and transportation, I'll start with energy. Our focus has been for the first couple months of the year. I'm going to call it contractor development and outreach, and also as a subset of that, workforce training and development. So internally, we're knocking the rust off of our contractor list. So when folks are looking for someone who can help them with their electrification needs, we have an updated active list. So that's a project we're finishing up on this month. And then on the workforce and contractor recruiting and development front, we're working with Energy Smart Colorado. We're a partner with them, and they have a nice grant for workforce development. So we're in the planning stages to bring technical classes to our region and other regions in the state. Had a great informal meeting just last night with the Northwest Council of Governments. Their workforce development person actually lives here in Routt County, so we're going to work with them and try to make sure all the agencies are on the same page. And then lastly, as you may know, I serve on the Colorado Energy Office's Geothermal Advisory Group, and we are actively also working on both contractor development and workforce training. So our goal is to make sure the contractors are there to do the work on all the cool electrification projects we're trying to bring into the community. And then on top of that, the state is also working on some regional geothermal market development workshops, and we're going to help them with those as well. And all of this is in support of our local efforts, obviously, to support carbon-free heating, both at the individual homeowner level and at the bigger project scale level. Unfortunately, Routt County's folks couldn't make it today, so they asked me to kind of pitch hit. Connor and I put on 2 heat pump workshops, all things heat pump, not just geothermal, for the Routt County Building Department. And on February 13th, we had a full house with 60 folks in the room. So the building department scheduled an overflow class that we put on last night, and we had another 45. So we've had about a little over 100 folks, ranging from homeowners to electricians to mechanical contractors, architects, engineers. So we're definitely sitting on some pent-up demand for electrification of heating. And so now we got to catch up and have the workforce to support that. Flipping to the transportation side, I want y'all to mark your calendars. Our next ride and drive event with the city is on Sunday, May 5th. We're going to have a little different twist on that. We're actually going to have a workshop for workforce, HOA, commercial charging before the ride and drive, and then the ride and drive will be from 10 to 1 down at the ice skating arena or the parking lot at the fairgrounds. So that's on May 5th. And then you may or may not know that I was appointed to the Colorado Energy Office's Community Enterprise Access Board. So I'm going to do my best to steer some of the $310 million of EV infrastructure money, both across the state, and then make sure we'll be totally plugged into those programs, which include EV charging, which is the Charge Ahead Colorado grant, which is for businesses and HOAs. The EV Fast Charging Plaza grant, which is large scale plazas for what we call level 3 or super fast charging. Fleet Zero is another program we fund. So that's one of our goals, is to electrify our shuttle fleets here in town, and Fleet Zero is a program dedicated to electrifying shuttles. There's going to be a vehicle exchange program, which has been on our radar for a couple of years. That's basically kind of a cash for clunkers equivalent. So there'll be a state mechanism to help people trade their older internal combustion engines for newer used EVs. One of my other favorite programs is the state is funding an e-cargo bike program. So hopefully we'll see some e-cargo bikes running around town pretty soon with some state funding. And then there's a community accelerated mobility project, which is a grant funding program for governments and folks like the Housing Authority to do their EV planning. And as you may know, on one of the climate action plan goals is to have an EV readiness plan for the county. So there is funding from the state to do that. So I'm really excited to be kind of in the soup of how that those programs are developed and how the funding is spending. And then on our Colorado Green Business front, we do have our second workshop with the Chamber of Commerce on the 27th of this month, and it'll run from 12 to 1:30 at the Routt County Community Room. That workshop is going to focus more on how do you actually get the points to become a certified green business. So if any of you are interested, or please spread the word. We had 20-some registrations when I looked at a few days ago. And then the team here, Connor and myself and Ashley, were busy on doing on-site meetings and energy assessments and lunch and learns for folks that have signed up. We're about halfway to our annual goal for business signups for the year, so we're excited about that. And then we have a project going on with one of our interns to bring together a data set or sheet for businesses to understand all of the tax, grant, and loan opportunities for businesses to reduce their carbon footprint. So that sums it up for me, Michelle.
Great. Thank you so much, Paul. And next we have Connor Burns, Energy and Transportation Projects Manager.
Thanks, Michelle. I'm just going to update a couple depot trends that we've seen from year to date from the years in the past. So 2022, we saw year to date 6,892 pounds of electronics. In 23, we saw 4,700. And in 2024, we're actually on track to do 6,000. So we have a little bit higher diversion rates as compared to last year. We attribute to kind of high numbers for basically being when we opened up, which was in December of 2021. So definitely had a high year in 22, but we're seeing similar trends for 24 that are better than last year. And that kind of includes light bulbs and customers that have come through. But we are down a little bit in batteries. So those are interesting depot trends. We're also looking at a couple of various recyclers that Eagle County and Summit County landfills use. And so we're just kind of keeping options open and definitely finding people that have best practices for recycling. As far as energy assessments go, many of you know we're doing energy assessments in-house. We've completed 3 energy assessments so far this year and have 2 more in the queue that we're scheduling. We have 3 commercial assessment requests, which is 300% of the requests in the last couple of years. So we've typically only had 1, and for being just March, we already have 3. So it's definitely probably because of this USDA grant. It takes a $1,500 cost down to $375, and so we're really trying to push that and market that for our businesses. We've completed 1, and then we have 1 scheduled for Monday, and then 1 more just came in. So that's what our commercial assessments look like. YVA is also going to do marketing for energy assessments, and so they're about to have a push here, and Oak Creek is actually doing outreach in their newsletter. So we should see hopefully an uptake in assessment requests after a few more of our partners' outreach programs. I'll try not to repeat too much of what Paul said, but you know, our heat pump workshops went great, and we continue to have personal conversations with actually 4 different homeowners right now looking to install heat pumps. And definitely is always something that Paul and I enjoy, and we get a couple of fun ones that are, for example, spending $15,000 a year on propane in Oak Creek, or there was another one that spent $17,000 a year on propane. So we definitely are having fun with those conversations and are just kind of continuing the outreach and promotion of building electrification. And then I guess Paul mentioned the May 5th ride and drive, but we'll have that EV 101 workshop for anyone that wants to learn about EVs, and then you can come test drive one afterwards. But that's May 5th from 9 to 10 in partnership with the City of Steamboat Springs, Clear, and YVEA. And that's about it. I think Paul kind of touched on most of the stuff. So.
Great. Thank you so much, Connor. And next we have Kate Mercado, Communication and Program Manager.
Thanks, Michelle. Just a quick update from me. I want to let you all know to save the date for our signature fundraising event, Insight Art for Climate Action. That's going to be this year on June 29th at the Larson Barn. For those of you that aren't familiar with the event, this fundraiser, the goal of it is to increase climate literacy and communications around climate science through the power of artwork. Last year was our first event, and we saw some really beautiful pieces come out of that event. We are right now in the solicitation phase with our artists, so they are working on creating their pieces, and those pieces will be due to us on May 13th. They have a series of 4 prompts that they can create artwork based off of: resilient land and water, waste, energy, and transportation, and there's a community engagement prompt as well. And so we're really looking forward to this event. New this year, we'll have a show at Steamboat Creates for the month of June, and all of that artwork will be showcased. So we can't wait to see what all of our artists put together. And on Sunday, if any of you are artists yourself and interested in participating, we have a Get to Know Insight event. So you can come learn about the event and how you might be able to participate, and that'll be on the 24th from 1 to 3 at Steamboat Creates, and there's more information on our website.
Okay, great, thank you. And next we have Madison Muxworthy, Soil Moisture Water and Snow Program Manager.
Thanks, Michelle. Hi, everyone. It's good to see you all. My first update is that we're excited to debut our new name for our monitoring network, which is the Yampa Basin Atmosphere and Soil Moisture Integrated Network, or YBasin, which we call it for short. This is our project that we have in collaboration with the Center for Western Weather and Water Extremes, Colorado Mountain College, and it's funded by the Upper Yampa Water Conservancy District, the Colorado Water Conservation Board, and the Colorado River District. We are excited to be installing 6 additional of these in situ hydroclimate stations throughout the watershed this year and next, and they will add to the 3 that we have already installed throughout the watershed. We're also excited as part of this to host our 5th annual summer research intern who assists with research related to this project. More information about our monitoring network can be found on our website, and I will add the link into the chat. My next update is that over the past year, we have been planning and designing a community science soil moisture project with the Medicine Bow Route National Forest Service that we hope to be launching this summer. And the goal of this project is to get community members engaged in conducting soil moisture measurements through using a handheld soil moisture sensor, and they will conduct these measurements throughout the watershed. And so stay tuned for more information about that project. We also received additional funding from the Colorado Water Conservation Board through a turf replacement program that they have. And so we received funding for a pilot project for turf replacement in Routt County outside of the city of Steamboat Springs area. So we'll be releasing more information about that opportunity this spring. And my last update is to let you all know to save the date for our 7th annual Yampa Basin Rendezvous, which will be happening on May 29th and 30th at Colorado Mountain College here in Steamboat Springs. And this year's theme is Connecting the Drops, linking weather, watersheds, and communities for a resilient water future. And this is a collaboratively organized conference put on by YVSC, Colorado Mountain College, Center for Western Weather and Water Extremes, Friends of the Yampa, Upper Yampa Water Conservancy District, Yampatika, the Nature Conservancy, Community Agriculture Alliance, and the River Network. So that list keeps getting bigger and bigger every year. So we're really excited about that, and registration for that will be available soon. Thanks.
Great, thanks so much, Maddie. And last but not least, we have Dakota Dolan, Resilient Forest Projects Manager.
Thanks, Michelle. Hi, everyone. I am YVSC's Internship Program Manager as well as Forest Resilience Projects Manager, and I'm excited to report that we have 3 fantastic interns with us for the spring term this year. For those of you unfamiliar with the program, it's a 12-week professional experience that allows interns to work directly with YVSC staff and engage in our programs addressing sustainability issues in the Yampa Valley while providing training and experience in nonprofit work. Together, interns and staff collaborate to synthesize a project with goals and deliverables that are then presented at a final presentation, which is a public event. And this term's closeout presentations are on Thursday, April 25th from 2:30 to 4:30. If you want to bookmark that time and date, you're welcome to join at the Routt County Community Room on 6th Street. So please feel free to attend and join us in celebrating interns' completion of the program. And looking forward, we're currently accepting applications now through April 15th at midnight for the summer internship term. So please direct any local young professionals looking for experience in sustainability to YVSC's website in order to apply. And I'll include that link in the chat as well. And just to give you an idea of what our spring interns are working on this term, I'm going to provide a bit of background about each of them. Our first intern is Sierra Babcock, and she moved to Steamboat from Fairbanks, Alaska in 2019. She has her associate's degree in outdoor ed and is graduating with a BA in sustainability studies this spring from CMC. As the community engagement intern, she is researching ways to increase CMC student participation in sustainability-related opportunities within the city. And she's working to create a strategy for YVSC to effectively reach students through structured communication with professors and implementing an online announcement platform. Next, we have Liam Miller, and Liam is a junior at Steamboat Springs High School and is concurrently enrolled at Colorado Community College and Brigham Young University, completing some coursework. He is our Colorado Green Business Network intern, which involves working closely with Paul Boney, Ashley Dean, and Connor Burns. And together they're working on a database for financial resources for businesses that would like to become more sustainable and become part of the network, and streamlining access to education about those funding opportunities. And our third intern is on the call with us. So I will now allow Marisa to introduce herself to the group.
Hello, everyone. I'm Marisa Joberg. I moved to the Yampa Valley 3 years ago from Spokane, Washington. And much like Sierra, I will also be graduating with my associates in outdoor education and bachelor's in sustainability this spring. Super exciting. And I'm working with Madison Muxworthy on the community science soil moisture monitoring project, and more specifically on the community engagement and education aspect on why soil moisture monitoring is so important, and how they can be involved in that. And also focusing a little bit more on tools for retaining volunteers.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Marisa. That's it for us.
All right, great. Thank you so much, Dakota, and thank you, Marisa. Thanks for joining us. And if you can make the closeout presentations for the interns, I guarantee it's always really, really inspiring. So thank you, YVSC staff. And now it is my pleasure to turn over to highlights from our very important community partners. We will start with City Council President Gary, City of Steamboat Springs City Council, and I'll turn it over to you.
All right, thank you, Michelle, and good afternoon, everyone. Hopefully you're enjoying this gorgeous day, and hopefully we'll get a little more snow soon, right? So lots of things happening at the city of Steamboat Springs, and I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to focus on to kind of, or the handful of the issues that are happening. Certainly one of the most climate consequential projects under consideration by City Council is the reconstruction of the Gondola Transit Center at the resort, which also includes a new transit center in the Meadows parking lot, a high-speed gondola connecting the Meadows parking lot with the base area. And the goal, is to reduce traffic, to make the GTC more pedestrian friendly and welcoming, and to make sure that we are making climate aligned decisions. The design work is about 30% complete, and the current design is reliant on more than 100,000 square feet of snow melt. With the adoption of the new building codes, the snow melt system, will be powered with renewable energy. We did have a work session last week where council was provided with an update of the project, as well as a look at the feasibility study that was recently done and being done, right, in terms of the geothermal system, which, you know, might be standalone, could be in combination with other technologies like waste heat, recapture, solar, pavement pigmentation. You know, and again, this will likely power this, you know, could power the snow melt and possibly other structures at the base area. Given the current economic conditions and rising costs, the project team is, you know, continuing to evaluate the design and potentially reduce the scope, and also looking at other potential funding mechanisms such as, you know, the tax credits that are out there, all in with the goal of staying in line with the budget. Also, part of the GTC will be 8 berths for SST buses, as well as a consolidated shuttle system, which will not only make the GTC function more efficiently, but, you know, will be aligned with some of our climate action goals. More again to come on that. I think are scheduled to get another update at the beginning of the summer. So stay tuned in terms of what happens on that front. Also underway is a update of the city's landscape codes. The first phase is focused on the commercial and multifamily properties. The primary focus is to bring the code and strengthen the code as it relates to water conservation efforts, as well as to increase the wildfire resiliency practices. The draft recommendations, I think, are expected to be released early summer. There will be an opportunity for community engagement as well as feedback, and we hope to adopt the rules by the end of the year. The phase 2 will look at recommendations for single family homes. My understanding is that phase 1 may include some kind of voluntary rules that for the single family homes as it relates to, you know, water conservation and wildfire resiliency practices. Then lastly, I just wanted to point out that tonight at the Hayden Center from 5:30 to 7:30, there is a work session that will involve Routt County commissioners, all of the elected officials, I should say representatives from all of the elected bodies within Routt County, as well as in Craig, to talk about the RTA and really to just start the conversation in terms of how we move forward to create an RTA in our valley. So with that, thanks for the time, and don't ever hesitate to reach out if you have any questions or would like to have conversations on things that are of importance to you.
Great. Thank you so much, President Gary, and thank you so much for all you do. Todd Carr was next on our agenda, but he is unable to join. Tied to President Gary's updates on the implementation of the recent building code updates, I'll just share. He really wanted to highlight that as they've been rolling out the adoption and, you know, moving forward on implementing the 2021 ICC building and energy codes, they now have new applications rolling in the door, but importantly, staff has not received any concerns or negative feedback on the newly adopted energy codes related to snowmelt systems or other outdoor appliances, which added restrictions were supplemented to. The county is also noticing that in some cases, a reduction in snowmelt systems is being proposed, and they believe that the cost of the electric boiler and the cost to power an electric boiler are simply causing owners to rethink if they truly need snowmelt systems. The county is very excited to see some really large commercial mixed-use buildings being proposed to be all electric, voluntarily being initiated by the owners and the developers. So those are great outcomes of the recently adopted building codes. So next up, we have Todd Hagenbu, County Director and Agricultural Agent with CSU Extension.
Thanks, Michelle. Appreciate that. Just a quick extension update. First, thanks to everyone who came out for the Ag Breakfast this morning. Saw Gail there. It was great to see you there, Gail and Joella. Any of the rest of you who I may not be able to see on my screen, thanks for coming out. We had right at 100 people celebrating Ag. And as you all know, this is Celebrate Ag Week. Yesterday was National Agriculture Day. We, of course, extend that in Routt County and make it a whole week. We've got folks who are looking at starting to drop calves out there real soon. So it'll be a great spring, we hope. Interesting times. We'll have some new predators that will be sharing some of those meadows with our cattle herds. So we'll see. The proof will be in the pudding the next few weeks, how our ranchers do with new adventures out in the countryside. From a CSU perspective, just want to let everyone know that we have finished our Master Gardener class. The Master Gardeners will be teaching our community greening classes. You might remember those as the Evenings with Master Gardeners, April 30th and May 1st at the Bud Warner Memorial Library. Those programs will be the same each night. We'll give an introduction, kind of especially for new folks, what grows and why do we grow the things we do in Routt County. As you know, that's a limited list of things that we can grow in Routt County, but we will talk about all those great things that we can grow here. And then we'll have booths all around Library Hall to help people drill into their soil, season extension, weeds and insects that they might come across, etc. Our partners at the State Forest Service will be joining us that evening as well. Quick Legacy Ranch update. Did want to let everybody know that we are continuing our alternative forage crop demo plots out there. We will try to replant the kerns that did not do so well last year, and we'll be planting a 5-acre plot of sainfoin, which is a deep-rooted legume. See how well that does here. Of course, trying to find forages that in a hotter, drier climate will do well in Routt County. We continue to do our edge of field studies for water quality in 3 locations across Routt County. Thus far, I got a great report. I was on campus 2 weeks ago and got a great report that the water coming off of hayfields is actually much better than the water coming into hayfields. So that makes me feel good that our fantastic, beautiful hay meadows out there actually serving some ecological benefit, environmental benefit as well. That's what I've got for now, Michelle. Hopefully some programs that are in the works for the summer that folks might be interested in that we'll just keep on our hat until we get some more details worked out. Good to see everybody. Happy spring.
Great. Thank you so much, Todd. Great to see you. Next, we have Lorraine Martin, Executive Director with Routt County Riders.
Hi, everyone. Again, my name is Lorraine Martin, ED of Routt County Riders, which is your local cycling and trails advocacy nonprofit. So I want to stick with a couple program updates that are largely sustainability focused. The first thing I want to talk about is that this year RCR is going to be the 2nd year running. So this is our 2nd sort of annual e-bike program that we'll be kicking off. This is a program that's funded by the Colorado Energy Office. Last year, we used these funds, about $120K, to match 41 new e-bikes with Routt and Moffat County folks. And then this year, we received another similar grant for closer to 50 bikes. And that's about $180K that we received this year. So the goals of this program are to increase the adoption of electric bicycles as a means of transportation, to reduce car trips in the area and therefore carbon emissions, and to advance the goals of transportation justice for lower income sub-communities here in these 2 neighboring counties. So we are again partnering very closely with the city of Steamboat on this. They're helping us implement the program. This dovetails nicely, as Paul Boney mentioned earlier, the city's EV readiness goals, and also it dovetails with their goals related to diversity, equity, and inclusion. There's a whole lot of sort of stipulations within our grant about how we are making these e-bike matches. So we are working again this year with a host of referring agencies, and these agencies were chosen for their ability to identify client bases that they already have, where they're working closely with individuals and can decide whether or not being on the receiving end of an e-bike works for that person and will advance their own personal goals. So we're working with Routt and Moffat County DHS. We are working with Integrated Community, Lift Up, Yampa Valley Housing Authority, Boys and Girls Club, Young Tracks, the Health Partnership, and Northwest Colorado Health on that. I dropped a link in the chat if anyone has questions about that program. And then just a quick plug for our traditional bike match program that has been running for several years now. This is related to both recycling and greener forms of transportation. We're trying to keep all used and recycled, essentially used bike equipment out of landfills and get that to the folks here in town who need it. So within our new bike shop, we're doing a lot more churning out of those traditional bike matches as well. And those are available to anyone in town who needs a bike free of charge. And that is separate from the e-bike program, somewhat separate at least. And then one last shameless plug, and this is somewhat more peripherally related to sustainability initiatives, but I've heard some talk about Forest Service partnerships, so I see a little connection there. RCR is working with the Forest Service very closely this year to hire somewhat of a shared position, although this seasonal full-time trail crew member will be working on non-motorized trails and recreational assets, largely supervised by the Forest Service, although hired and administered through RCR. So the link for that position, which I do want to mention, offers some, how do I say, subsidized local housing for the season for that person. So I know that's really important with jobs these days. And thank you so much for letting me share a bit about our programs.
Lorraine, thank you so much for those great updates. Next, we have Josh Hankus, Executive Director with Routt County Wildfire Mitigation Council.
Hi, everybody, and thanks, Michelle. I wanted to just give you a quick update on our Wildfire Mitigation Conference that we do every spring. This year, we're going to do it a little bit earlier in the year. It's happening a week from Friday on the 29th of March. This is just the stakeholder portion of the conference. Typically, we would do a Friday afternoon and then a Saturday for the community. But instead of doing the Saturday for the community, we're going to wait until May and go out to and do 4 regional community outreach meetings throughout the county. And then again, this is instead of asking people to come to Steamboat and sit in the auditorium for most of the day. So we think that we're kind of trying to meet people where they are and expand our footprint and penetration into the county and the communities. And I'm hoping to bring more resources to people more effectively. The focus of the meeting on the 29th is to talk about the Community Wildfire Protection Plan that was published last fall. We'll be providing a brief overview of the architecture of the plan and identifying ways that we can work together to act on its recommendations. That plan identified 4 priorities to think about when you're contemplating mitigation activities. The first being life safety, the second being economic drivers, the third being critical infrastructure, and the fourth being property. And in that plan, there are over 170 specific projects identified. So it's a pretty comprehensive list, and one that we certainly don't hope to accomplish in any near term, but it's a good way to start thinking about what we can tackle and how to prioritize those things. There are also 30 implementation leaders attached to each or attached to those 170 projects. So we've really targeted our outreach for a conference attendance to those 30 leaders, plus the other stakeholders that typically engage on this, so that we can identify opportunities for collaboration and we can share strengths and successes and challenges and figure out collectively how to overcome all that stuff. So keep an eye out for a meeting in May that will be hopefully in your neighborhood. And while I have your attention, we're also looking for a program manager. This is a full-time position for about 9 months out of the year and drops down to part-time in the winter months when we're a little bit slower. But a great opportunity to join an incredible team of me and my board of directors. We've got office space and good capacity. And so if you know anybody who might be interested, please send them my way. Otherwise, we're doing well. We've got our first 2 Firewise recognized sites in the county were awarded their recognition in January. I'm working with about 10 more actively on applications and putting some of that stuff together. So hopefully we'll be building on those first 2 pretty dramatically and exponentially as the months come off the calendar. So that's about it for me. Nice to see you all. And thank you very much for the time and space, Michelle.
Great. Thank you so much for your updates, Josh. Next, we have Emily Burke, Conservation Program Manager with Friends of the Yampa.
Thanks. Hi, everybody. I'm going to be sort of wearing dual hats today to give some updates about the Yampa River Fund and then also Friends of the Yampa. So River Fund stuff first. Our spring application period for the grant closes on April 1st. And we have $210,000 to give out this year. I want to give a shout out to Upper Yampa Water Conservancy District, who provided a one-time contribution of $150,000 to the River Fund this year. And then also we received $50,000 from the Green Family Foundation, $25,000 from Routt County, $25,000 from the City of Steamboat, and this is the 5th and final year of the Steamboat Ski Resort contributing $100,000. So thanks to all of those community partners. Another update for the River Fund, our new program called the Ripple Effect launched yesterday, and it's a collaborative effort spearheaded by the Nature Conservancy, the Yampa River Fund, and Friends of the Yampa, where folks can round up to the nearest dollar or make a 1% donation at participating businesses at point of sale. And all of that money goes to supporting the operations of and the projects funded by the Yampa River Fund. So Cruiser's Sub Shop has run a pilot program of the Ripple Effect since last spring. If you've been in there, you might have seen that on their point of sale. But now the Drunken Onion, Corner Slice, Mythology, and Yield at the Commons Food Hall have also signed on, with Backdoor Sports planning to implement the program this spring as well. And then outreach continues to get more businesses to sign up. So look for that option at point of sale as you're out and about. Moving over to Friends of the Yampa updates, our Yampa River scorecard project scoring is almost done for this year. So we anticipate releasing the results for the Steamboat segment of the Yampa in early April. And then this field season, we'll be moving to collecting data in the Upper Yampa. Going off of the scorecard project, we recently received a Colorado Water Conservation Board water plan grant that will continue to fund that project for the next 3 years. And it will also fund the launching of a new program called the Yampa River Stewardship Program, which is an initiative of the Yampa River Collaborative that includes many of the conservation and agriculture nonprofits in the basin, including YVSC, of course. And so the Yampa River Stewardship Program will use data from the scorecard project and other sources to identify desired future conditions of the river, identify best management practices to move from those current conditions to the desired future conditions. And then the real bulk of the program will be developing outreach tools and providing training, support, and educational resources to landowners and also land managers and practitioners to guide them in implementing those best management practices that we identify. So we're really excited for that program to get up and running. And then my last update is I just want to share a save the date for everyone for our River Fest. That's our sort of flagship event that happens down by Charlie's Hole downtown with all of the kayak and rafting races. And that this year will be June 1st. We'll have events also May 31st, which is the Friday, and then also the Sunday, June 2nd. But the main big event will be that Saturday, June 1st. That's all I have. Thanks for the time.
Great. Thank you so much, Emily. Next, we have Laura Sword, Senior Director of Destination Development and Communications with Steamboat Chamber.
Good afternoon. Thanks, Michelle. So as many of you may know, the Chamber also works with the City of Steamboat Springs to serve as the destination organization for our area. So a lot of what I'm working on now is creating our destination stewardship plan and programming for 2024. Part of that is some local campaigns that we're working on, just how to be a good visitor while you're here in Steamboat Springs. And a lot of that is sustainably minded travel and just really how to take care of the area that you're visiting. On a broader scale, the State Tourism Office is working on a destination stewardship plan, which I think I've mentioned to this group before, but it is Colorado is the first state to have a statewide plan, which is really exciting. So what we're going to do is work with the state to then pare this down to a regional plan and then down to a local Steamboat Springs plan. So I have been working with the State Tourism Office on what that could look like for Steamboat Springs. So that is in the works right now. They've already released a draft plan, and there was some time for people to comment on that. And now we're moving forward with kind of finalizing that plan, and then onto the regional plan as well. As far as a steamboat-centric version of this, there will be some more opportunities to kind of pitch in just as far as your local perspective. And I'm really asking people to let me know what they value and what would be valuable for a plan and what we want to have the destination organization focus on. So be looking for opportunities to chime in there and let me know really what you would value in a plan. So that's really the update I have as far as destination stewardship. I'll piggyback onto Emily and say that weekend of June 1st is also the Steamboat Marathon. So something to look forward to. That's going to be a great event. And we love kind of partnering with Friends of the Yampa and having a great opportunity for people to enjoy the river and the roads at that time. Yeah, so that's what I have for update from the chamber. Thanks.
Great. Thank you so much, Laura. And next we have Nancy Merrill, co-founder and president with Colorado Crane Conservation Coalition.
Thank you, Michelle. It's an honor to be here today. And guess what? The cranes are back. We're getting reports of them in Moffat County and West Route. So keep your eyes open. The first crane sighting contest is up currently, and but no sightings yet in Steamboat or South Route or North Route. So you still could win a prize. And in fact, 4 of our 5 crane awareness contests are going on at the moment. The Crane Inspired Creative Arts Scholarship Contest, the contest open to all high school senior Route in Moffat County, the deadline for that has passed, but all of the entries are now being displayed at the Art Depot in the platform room, and it will be up for the whole month of March. So stop by there to see some beautiful work by high school seniors about the cranes and about the environment. Our kids' crane coloring contest is going on. So if you have kiddos, neighbors with kiddos, encourage them to pick up a coloring contest picture at any of the libraries in the area. And the prizes will be given out to the winners at the Crane Festival in the fall. We also have a crane photo contest going on, and this year we've added a video section. So you photographers out there or your photographer friends, encourage them to send in photos or videos of the cranes, the Rocky Mountain cranes. The other very exciting news is that we have hired a new executive director, Megan Walker, who is well known by many of you. It will be the new executive director for Colorado Crane Conservation Coalition, and she will be starting early April, and I'm sure she'll be attending these meetings as well. And then more exciting news, our Crane Nest camera has picked up our crane family from last year, and they have returned to the valley, and I'm happy to say that both their chicks survived the winter. So there are 4 cranes back on their territory. They will soon be kicking out the babies, who are now really the same size and same coloration as the adults, and they'll be starting, hopefully, a new family very soon. The Nest camera is scheduled to go live April 12th, but we may actually start it earlier because the cranes have returned earlier. So that's all very exciting news. And then, of course, our festival, we're in the throes of planning for our big festival, which will take place over Labor Day weekend again, August 29th through September 1st. So mark your calendars and plan to be there. And thank you, Michelle, for giving me the opportunity to talk about cranes.
Well, thank you, Nancy, so much for joining. And those were just such positive, inspiring, wonderful updates. So thank you very much. And congratulations, Meg Walker. I think many of us do know her, so she'll be a wonderful addition. And next up, we have Erin Gelling, who is in her new position with the Natural Resources Conservation Services and joins us as the Rangeland Management Specialist.
Hi, everyone. I know most of you, and funny that I come right behind Nancy because I used to work with them, although I still work with them a little bit. But I just kind of wanted to let you guys all know, Natural Resource Conservation Service. I just started as the range management specialist. And as long as I've been in town, I really had no idea that we even had an NRCS office in Steamboat. Our office is located next to Ski House on Pine Grove. And a lot of my work is going to be helping landowners, ranchers, and farmers with grazing plans or fencing, water infrastructure, weed management, really anything along those lines. It's really on the landowner's responsibility to come to us if they want our help. But I just kind of wanted to let you guys all know what I am up to and what the organization is up to, as I am sure will be assisting or coordinating on projects in the future. I'll throw my email in the chat if you want to contact me about anything, but it's great to see you guys all again. Happy spring.
Thank you so much, Erin, and congratulations on your new position with NRCS, which is a great partner to many of us here. And so that concludes our partner updates. I do see Sierra Babcock is on, so she is one of our other YVSC interns this term. So Sierra, if you would just like to say hello, and then I'll turn it over to our public comment if anyone is online that would like to share a public comment. So first Sierra, and then I'll open up public comment.
Hi, everyone. Hopefully you can hear me. My internet is not doing great, but I'll save you guys all that. But I've been having a great time learning.
I think all of our internet got wonky for a minute. We all just experienced some sort of steamboat wrinkle. So it looks like I see heads moving again. Sierra, if you'd just like to say hello again briefly, and then and Sierra from CMC.
Okay, hopefully I don't mess everything up again, but yeah, I'm Sierra and I've been working as a community engagement intern. And it's been an awesome experience so far, and I've had a great time learning from everyone. I'm pretty sure I already got introduced by Cody, so I'll save you guys that, but yeah, super happy to be here and be a part of all this.
Great. Thank you so much for saying hello. And Marisa and Sierra are both stellar CMC students. And then Liam is a stellar Steamboat Springs High School student. So very grateful for our interns. And as Cody mentioned, we are now, our application period is open for summer interns. So at this point, it is my pleasure to open up for public comment. If anyone would like to say anything during public comment, please make a sound and turn your camera on. And Catherine, I see your camera on.
Yes, thanks. I jumped in first. Super thanks for the updates. This is always so inspiring. I just want to remind everyone that ballots are due for the special election for Brown Ranch next Tuesday, the 26th by 7 p.m. So you can drop them off at the usual drop-off spot behind the courthouse. If anyone you know didn't get their ballot or needs to register to vote, they can go to the City Hall, 124 10th Street, 8 to 5 this week on Monday and 7 to 7 on Tuesday. But most important, your voice is important, so be sure to vote.
Great. Thank you so much, Catherine. And anyone else for public comment? Okay. Well, everyone, thank you so much for your wonderful contributions to the meeting and for all you do in the community. It is such an honor to be able to work alongside you, and have a great Wednesday. Look at us, we wrapped it up by 2 p.m. So enjoy your day, and we look forward to being in touch.